conceal.
Oh, welcome one and all from Hermosa Beach, California. This is the Bladeology podcast.
All right, we're gonna jump into it like we do every week. Welcome to another episode of the Bladeology podcast. We're gonna do a little bit of an update tonight. It's been about a month since we've dropped an episode, and we actually, for the first time, don't have a guest on. It's just the original host lineup, and we're going to do a little bit of a catch-up episode. Catsup. Catch-up? Catsup.
And on that note, this is Nick Troop from Event CC Knives, and
Elijah. Oh, for Christ's sake.
do the thing, Elijah.
No, his...
Okay, he died. So what have you been up to, Jeremiah? You know, Woods Hermit?
Living the dream, my guy. One day at a time, passing into the next, into the next, into the next.
It's the ether?
Essentially, yeah. In the most repetitive way. I have not returned to the Vegas of Lost due to the cancellationists of the showsis. This episode will be just post the news of the USN cancellation, so there will be no USN, unfortunately, in 2020, to much dismay. So there will be a lot less people traveling to Las Vegas this year for a knife show, which, on the other hand, I personally don't have an issue with. I'm very sad that the show's not going to happen, but USN is my most stressful show because I'm having to, like, tend house at the shop and, like, welcome guests and shake hands and kiss babies the whole time, so it's less stressful.
Very presidential.
It's, you know, that's what I try to do. I try to put the flag on, and I try to, you know, shake hands and kiss babies. A lot's happened, though. We've been working on a lot. I know, Nick, you've been busier than a motherfucker.
Last 3 weeks or so, yeah. Now that New York's been open, it's easier to travel. And catching up on a lot of stuff now that a lot of service providers that I work with are fully open, no longer delays. So it's been knees and elbows or toes and fingers, however they say that, last 3 weeks. Working almost nonstop, catching up on stuff, but I'm almost pretty caught up. Just trying to figure out the next move. Should be doing a pre-order pretty soon. At this point, maybe some new stuff, hopefully. I don't know. Like I talked to you, Jeremiah, I've been working like an ADD patient most of the year, working on 8 different projects at once and not finishing much of anything. About 70% done on all random stuff, so I was like, I gotta slow down, finish each project, and then before I move on. But got some new stuff in the works for, I would say, second half of the year, but I guess we just started the second half of the year.
Isn't that fucking terrifying? It's July.
It's July. It's like the official second half of the year, and it's like what happened to January? We just went from J to J. Like,
that's it.
Fuck.
What happened to all the months in between? That's
just we forget about those. There'll probably be a movie like next year called 2020, and it'll be a horror movie.
It'll be terrifying. Do you want to mention? I don't know. It's kind of I know one of those projects is a project you guys are working on. I don't know if that's ready for announcement. I forget if we talked about that or not.
Me and Elijah.
Yeah.
I'm actually currently holding one because I was taking photos before this. It's just a fixed blade that me and Elijah co-designed, which is something different for Elijah since he doesn't actually co-design things. He designs things and other people make the things.
Sorry, folks, I got cut off there for a second.
But you're back in all power.
That's true.
Pretty
though. I
much
don't really co-design things.
It's a EDC neck knife type orientation, 2 3/4 blade. I was really fond of the Black Star handle. It's very slim. Ergos are good, so I asked him if I could use that handle and put my blade on there, and he said go for it. So that's what I did. Should be posting photos at tomorrow. It's July 2nd as of the moment, so probably by the time this is up, that'll be already on my Instagram.
That's pretty exciting.
Looks pretty decent. I guess
At the moment, I only have the version without the handle because the batch is off at heat treat right now, and at some point, once I'm done milling whatever I'm milling now, wow, there goes a voice crack. Milling now, that was embarrassing. I'll get on to doing some of the carbon fiber handles for them. I just don't want to run it right now and get the machine all dirty. I just cleaned it.
they look pretty decent. It should be pretty
What
cool
did
for
you
like
want to
somebody
call
who
it?
wants. I'm getting to that, Nick. It'd be cool for somebody who wants like a Black Star, like in a fixed blade, like a little small EDC ready fixed blade instead of a folder. But in keeping with like the David Bowie theme with the naming, off Black Star, his final album, I decided to name it the Lazarus.
No, that's a great name.
Yeah, that chungus.
Yeah.
I was about to say Leviathan.
Hey, there you go. That's the next one.
Lazarus. Okay, so it's going to be basically the Black Star handle, the sort of Black Star silhouette, and then Nick, you added sort of like a drop point with a poon to it, and it's
Pretty
it's,
much.
It's got a very Nick blade.
I poon all the things, so it's pretty much what I did. Is I took the Black Star blade and I put a poon on it and changed the angle of the belly quite a bit. It tips a little lower, it's a bit pointier, and there's a harpoon on there.
So now this knife is going to be an emphasis on carry, right? Like that's part of your guys' like Nick. This is supposed to be.
Well, that's my
small
design
carry.
philosophy. Yeah, it's very slim, super thin. I didn't want the 3/16 die. It's not. It's 1/8" stock. Handles are 5/32, super thin profile. That's the reason I wanted to use the Black Star's handle was because it was very minimalistic, very slim. The blade's very slim. The whole knife, the sheath is pretty much the size of the standard width of a belt. So if you wear it on your belt horizontally behind the back, it kind of conceals very well.
I'll probably be carrying mine like all the time. It'll probably replace, because I've actually been wanting like a small EDC fixed blade for a long time.
Me too.
it'll
That's why I
probably
want to make
replace
it.
most of my damn knives. I feel like.
I don't really carry. Back in the day, at least when I was a collector, I carried fixed blades more than folders just because it was easier in New York for laws. But this year or last year, fuck do I know? It's all blending together at this point. They appealed the gravity knife ban, so it's a little easier to carry folders nowadays. But I just rather beat the shit out of a folder more than I do a fixed blade. I mean, a fixed blade more than I do a folder.
So now this will ship with Kydex.
Yeah, because
Okay.
selling fixed blades without Kydex or leather sheets is nonsense.
Okay. So we're talking about thin, small EDC with. Is there an emphasis on concealability or just small and usable?
Both, I guess. Like I said, it's very slim, so it's easy to get behind the back. Like, I'll see guys make knives behind the back, and they're really wide, or the sheets are really wide, with a bunch of extra points for lashing. I specifically went with a folder or taco sheet because I wanted the sheet to be as small as possible, so that way it's more concealable behind
Taco
the
is
back.
the best. I always thought. With the
It's not the only
Kydex.
way to. Well, the pancake it has more mounting options. But,
it's huge.
but I want this one to be but I wanted this to be concealable, so I did taco. It fits great in your pocket, and if you want to carry it in your pocket with a lanyard on there or something, or I usually like to carry a fixed blade behind my back, so it sure conceals it. I'm a big dude, so I don't really carry it inside the waist on the right side, so it's not usually comfortable for me. Or I'll usually carry either like say behind the back or in the pocket with a string attached to my belt loop. So when I pull it out, past 6 inches out of the pocket, the sheet snags on the belt loop and the knife comes out.
Okay, now is this
Yeah, that's how I was probably gonna run it.
is this limited? Is it custom? Where are we at with the numbers and availability on this stuff?
I don't know I'm trying to come up with the pricing on it at the moment. I don't know how I'm gonna proceed with it. At the moment, I made about 70 in kind of various handles for them.
Okay, so you're still figuring it out, but so preliminarily you
Like I
do
said,
have
at the
70.
moment, I have 75 at the moment.
That's
There's a
awesome.
few more. Some are defects, so I have to. So those aren't I won't consider sellable. We'll see how I proceed with the project. Depends. See how they sell. I usually like to do a smaller batch at first, see how things go. I'm gonna do a different version in the future. I don't really want to talk about the ones that I'm gonna do in the future because we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Okay,
But
but
the point is to do different versions every batch.
before you were saying that you so these are small, skinny, EDC friendly fixed blades, and you're talking about scales and no scales.
Yeah, well, I have 9 here without scales. I don't know if I'm gonna sell them without scales. We'll see how these go. It just the reason I made these 9 was while the others are a heat treat. The plan was to do both, and I machined them in a way to where they look good without a scale. Like there's features on the inside, so where if you didn't want to have scales on them, it would have to be different sheets, obviously. Like I said, I'm gonna figure that out as I go. It doesn't really make sense when I make like logistically when I make handles to not make to make someone out for me. Some people probably want them for no handle carry. Maybe I'll do like 15% without a handle. I don't know exactly yet, or 20% without a handle. But I did when I machined them. I did plan to make them half and half, but it doesn't make sense logistically if I'm already making handles for some.
Yeah, just run it.
Yeah, I just run them and finish the batch because it's make the machine all messy. But it was machined already in the intent to not have handles, so it looks aesthetically nice on the inside.
Nice.
Like it's holes with big chamfers. You can wrap them in some way if you kind of want to. I was kind of messing around with some wrapping ideas, but I'm not the best at that.
That's awesome. So I mean, right off the bat, these are milled bevels, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted it to be a machine project because, like I mentioned to you, I had the dashis, the little EDC dashis that I've been selling for the last few years, but I'm kind of down to like the last 3 or 4 of those, so it was time for a new machine project. Thought this would be that project to replace it, but it's not exactly what I was looking for to replace that project. These are a lot more labor intensive than what those would have been, and I can't get into the 2-digit number on their $100 with these. So I'd have to find something else to make to replace the dashi in my inventory
Gotcha.
to get to the sub $100 price point.
All right. Well, that's pretty exciting. That's a cool project. I know you guys have been trying to work on. This is one of those projects that has been in the shoot for a while, waiting to be sort of birthed into reality. So I think people are gonna like this. I know I've seen it. I think it's really fucking cool. It's a great size. Yeah, and so it shares that sort of that Black Star handle silhouette with Nick's Poon, and I think it'll fill a really nice hole in people's EDC where you're just looking to either get into carrying a fixed blade or you're used to carrying a fixed blade, but you want something just like a little smaller size that you might actually use opposed to some sort of like giant sawback, street weapon.
It's definitely not more of the same. It's a different category that most people don't use nowadays.
Right.
It's not also meant for hard use. The edge is very thin, and so is the tip because the harpoon and how thin everything is.
Right.
It'll stab the hell out of some dude, but it's not for prying and hard use. It's meant to be a thin slicer and for self-defense, let's say, very minimalistic, very lightweight.
Right.
Yeah, if you wanted, you could like make a hard use one, just thicker stock and a different grind.
Sauce it around.
Was
That's
the point
the beauty
though?
of a fixed blade. You can just kind of make
too
it
narrow. Yeah, but it's too narrow of a
it
knife.
forever.
At that point, if I were to make it thicker and grind it, it'll be a wedge or a shank. At that point, it won't slice too well.
So obviously, it's impossible to say when this will launch, just because the world is what it is. But
like I said, I have the
9
9 without handles ready. They're Kydex, and I was taking photos right before we started those.
Oh, really? Okay.
I just the logistics route what the handle pricing would be to get them listed, and
a slow drip.
no, those will be listed within the week.
Okay.
I probably will be listed just about when this is posted, because it's gonna take you about a week to post this. As far as the ones with handles, I don't know because that's not on me with the heat treat, and I still have to make the handles. But right now, I just sent those out to heat treat, and who knows, like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things, and so are most of the service providers. Finally started working 5-day, 6-day weeks like 3 weeks ago, because before that it was a little hard to travel in New York.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, so wow, this is a great announcement that people can look forward to something sooner than later.
That's not the only. Most of the stuff that I'm working on in the shop is kind of finishing up a batch of titanium imps, because a lot of people wanted those after the carbon fiber releases. And I'm almost done machining all the micro parts. So the MK1 micros, I gotta get the pre-order ready for those.
So you're working on titanium imps, the Lazarus, And MK1s and Imps? Really? Wow. All right. Yeah, look at you, huh?
and more things.
And, yeah, right. And more things.
Always more things.
Okay.
No, but at this point, everything. The problem that I had like a month ago when I was talking with the Jer, with the ADD in the shop was I had a lot of parts that like water jetters supplied to me and heat treated parts, but everything had to get machined, and I only have one CNC machine, and right now I'm looking at a second one. So that was the issue. I have to line them up in the right order to get milled, and at this point, most of it's actually already machined and requires hand fitment and finishing, which is now I have two people for that. It's me and my father to do hand finishing, opposed to when machining parts is just the machine. And when you do hand fitting and hand finishing, that's kind of multitasking. Unlike the machine does one thing over and over again until you set up to do something else. So now I could work on a little bit of this, finish a little bit of this, finish a little bit of that, instead of like the CNC. You have to do one thing, do it for a week until it's done before moving on. Gotcha. So I guess like I said, it's the Lazarus, the titanium imps, a couple dress imps. You guys saw some photos of those. The MK1
Yeah,
micros.
those look real spicy.
Yeah, I'll probably doing a pre-order for the micros. Maybe I gotta figure out some handle options and get all the details on my site. And unfortunately, because I messed up with the numbers, one more batch of MK1Ss, about 30 units.
Yeah, it keeps on rolling, folks.
Wow.
Well, I told you, I thought
You're
I had.
never going to stop. I appreciate that, Nick.
Well, no, I'm getting so tired of making those. God damn it, Elijah! Elijah's getting ridiculously high in the background. You're leaving that in the edit.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, I'm so tired of making those.
How many is this batch?
Like 30. It's not many.
Okay. All right.
Well, I had some parts like clips and stuff like that. So I try to get Pete to cut me out 11 sets to make just 11 to finish with the parts that I have lying around.
Then he like water jets an extra 10.
And he cut those for me.
It's like, oh man.
No,
I'm
he
sorry.
cut 11 for me. And then when I was going to put them in the drawer parts, I realized that I have 22 more in the drawer that I didn't know I had. And then I was like, oh, now I have to go make 30 blades to accommodate for this. But what I'm going to do is actually probably only make a couple, the standard Harpoon Tanto. I'm probably going to make some of the original blade shapes from back in the day, some like Bowie shapes. And so I'm probably going to change up a little bit, some new handle patterns for it, because I'm just tired of the same thing over and over.
Wow.
So probably modify the blade shape,
Which is, you know,
change
honestly,
up the handle milling.
it's great because that knife has staying power. You know, people still love it. It is a functionally and aesthetically
it does,
pleasing
for sure.
design. Yeah, but I mean, like,
it's not a bad time
It's
to
like
have
an
it just
XM18,
because
you know?
I'm doing the MK1 micro and doing 50 of those.
That's true.
Usually, last time I did the micro, I only did the micro on that. I do the MK1s again for about a year, and most of the people that order those, if they like the design or simultaneously they're like, I need a big brother, and they would like a matching set. But at the last time I did these, I did them a year apart, so I couldn't do it.
so
And
people
this
can
time,
do
so I'm
matching
doing
sets now.
Yeah, so it kind of
That's
still works
neat.
out.
Okay.
So I don't regret it too much, because now if people want a matching set, since I'm building them simultaneously, I could do that.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. All right, so you've got a lot.
Yeah,
is coming.
and there are more projects, but those aren't in the immediately like 75% done point, so I don't really want to mention those, except the collaboration that we're doing.
Yeah. I should. That's mostly on me. I need to finish the certificates.
And
oh my
the
god,
logo.
that's like
I
an
need-
insane amount of fucking projects.
There's still more. I don't really want to keep talking a bunch of talking. Like I said, like I told you,
All right.
I had an ADD issue in the shop. I just kind of like, oh, I have an idea. Let's go make it. Oh, I have an idea. Let's go make it.
Nick's rolling back into the current reality, and he's coming in swinging. I'm going to use the Lazarus as a bridge. So Elijah, that's probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that going to be the first USA like quasi production thing that you've done?
It'll be the first production like at any like more than one USA, the first USA made design I've been a part of.
That's awesome. That's exciting. Yeah, because obviously you've worked with custom makers for like ones and
maybe,
twos,
you know,
but this is
couple.
like this is
a couple here and there.
a thing.
Yeah,
That's definitely a thing.
his second US one is starting as well. I don't really want to talk about that exactly yet. That just kind of hit the both of you guys that that's starting to roll as well.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't even know where I am, which is super weird.
Exactly.
Right. So Elijah, what have you been up to for the last
So many things.
few months? We've been seeing some teasers on Instagram, but with the
I mean, I've been building a bicycle.
right, sure, okay, how's that going?
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah,
Quit
I
playing
mean,
paper, guy.
sorry, it's not paper.
All I hear
Anyways.
is just.
Anyways, yeah, I've been pretty busy myself. Getting a
Yeah.
whole lot of projects done right now.
I'm telling
Getting a
you.
lot of shit ready to go.
Trips back
There's
and
gonna be
forth
another
to the Spencer.
OEM. Gonna be another OEM knife soon.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one for the Germans?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there'll be a couple exclusives on that one, but
No, I'm saying, is that the one that you showed us? That what
Yeah,
you said
that
was
was
for the
that
German. Oh, okay.
yeah, if you're listening to this, it's if you have a time machine, you can go back in time and look at my stories, and there's a teaser on there right now.
Teasers.
Yeah.
So you've got
Pretty
so
spicy.
you've got an OEM project. That's great.
Yeah, the next one, like the follow up, there was the Black Star and the Abstruse and the Black Star V2, and now there's going to be the next one.
Okay, same
fourth.
manufacturer or new manufacturer?
It's going to be made by Best Tech.
Okay, nice.
Yep. Same as
All
the Abstruse. Yep. Bolster lock in the 3.25 inch range. With some, maybe, I'm thinking more like my Carta this time. Something a little more like, kind of like down and dirty and bare bones. Nothing extremely fancy or anything on this run.
So
Like
straying away from the carbon fiber.
Yeah, probably. There might be a little carbon fiber inlays here or there, but yeah, like a clip point blade, and of course there's a hole in it.
There's a hole in the blade.
Non-flipper.
Oof.
Non-flipper this time. Yeah.
So it's
Should be interesting.
only the thumb hole release?
Yeah, just the blade hole there.
Blade
be-
hole.
I designed it like for Spidey flicking, so
Nice.
get that finger popping. Yeah, you
Okay.
can just thumb it up too, but yeah, no.
You get a license?
No, there's no Spidey hole. It's a hole.
It's not
the
circular.
eye hole, if you will, and it's not circular.
Gotcha.
It's a hole
shapes.
of different shape, but you do
Yeah,
not have the
it's
license.
a rhombus.
It's a oblate spheroid. Oh, well,
Rhombus shapes.
Rhombus.
I got that going, and then I got many of Wii projects on the way.
Oh, really?
More Civivi stuff too. The next Civivi should be out somewhat soon, maybe in the next couple months. That one's called the Lazar. It's a follow up to the McKenna. It's a trailing point, kind of like a glorified steak knife kind of deal, but it's in the same style as the McKenna, kind of.
I think I just got an email.
I'm sure
from them
people
about that.
will assume that it's like the McKenna 2 or something, but it's not. It's a different design.
No such thing. Not this time.
No such thing. But yeah, that should be coming pretty soon. And then about to release any day now is those bronze and copper plethoros from Civivi with the Damascus blades. Those are pretty spicy.
Oh, that's like fancy. That's like dress. I noticed that. So they've started to do after the
Semi-dress,
dress
affordable. Yeah.
after the
weird
dress
shit,
Catan
yeah.
popularity. Like they really Civivi started releasing more Damasteel options, which was kind
Yeah,
of
they're gonna try it.
which was weird because Civivi is supposed to be a more budget brand, but they're trying to also hit maybe the
Blurring the
popularity of
line
the
a bit,
design.
yeah.
Yeah, the popularity of the design demands that the knife be available in a nicer version, I guess.
Yeah, it's a different SKU. It's a different variant of the same thing. It's like a different flavor, I guess, and people love to collect, one particular model. So it's kind of their option. I'm letting them do it, so it's cool.
Well, it's nice to see that the McKenna has that it has that staying power. People really relate to it.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah, those Civivis have done pretty well.
So now, again, because our time frames are all screwed up, and they canceled Blade West, they canceled USN on us, and who knows what's going to happen to the regular Blade show? What's the release for any of this? Who knows? In the next 6 months before Christmas.
The Civivi stuff, the new bronze and brass and faux Damasteel kind of thing, those should be coming around within the month. But my OEM run will be probably around January release
Okay.
at the earliest, like around SHOT Show. I want to hope to have some around then.
Nice. All right.
So yeah. And I'm basically selling most of those myself. I'm gonna set up an online store or something, and then there's gonna be a couple exclusives through just a handful of dealers. So they're gonna be hard to come by.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
So you had sort of talked about that before with the Mokutai Black Stars, but you're gonna just start to sell direct. Like
yeah,
as
I'm gonna kick it back and not do as many and just sell them, like trickle them out, kind of. But yeah. Who knows if there'll be a PBK exclusive? That's yet to be determined.
Right. Yeah.
We'll see there.
Text messages get lost a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, they just like fall into the void there.
Yep. They just kind of disappear, don't they? Well, so exclusives are great. Knives are fun.
Implement some cutting.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to, Jeremiah?
You talked about it before when you were gone.
Okay. How do you know I was gone? I've been here the whole time, Nick. The whole time. The whole time.
Did you?
The text?
Yeah. All right, we'll call him back. Where's redial?
Is it close to the coronavirus?
Where am I?
Yeah, the cosmic soup, sometimes it gets
Yeah,
jumbled.
a little bit. Oh, well, as far as podcast things go, we have a pretty amazingly epic guest list that I've been trying to... We have a lot of people nailed down, but because summertime is what it is for summertime, we've been having trouble nailing these people down on specific recording dates, which is why it's been a minute since our last episode, but... should I can't tell if we should talk about the guest we have coming on or not.
We should probably talk about the next guest, because people are going to be wondering.
Are people going to be wondering?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that might jinx it now. I'm gonna think about that.
It's Bugs Bunny, folks.
It's fucking Bugs Bunny, guy. Jesus Christ. That's it. It's him. Now it's out and you know it. It's pre-Chungus.
Pre-Chungus Bunny.
It's pre-Chungus.
Bugs.
Here's the thing. Wear a mask.
Pre-Chungus Bugs.
Don't wear a mask. It's all a joke, man. We're all going to die. You got nothing to live for. Oh, God.
God damn.
Swerve into the left.
Oh, God. This is why we have guests on.
I mute my mic for 5 seconds and Jeremiah loses it.
Yeah, I told people to swerve into the left lane.
And my love for Jim is infected.
I know you're listening to this right now while you're driving, so just swerve, just fucking turn that wheel into the left lane.
Antidotes won't help, but I injected.
All right, let's pick it up where we left off. Let's get we can do a show recap real quick. Are you ready? Canceled due to coronavirus.
No, you got to slow down. Blade Show.
Blade Show canceled.
Due to coronavirus.
Most likely.
Blade Show rescheduled. Then again, most likely canceled.
Man, I was thinking of
USA.
like all the stuff that we could do, like after and during the show, because I live 5 minutes down the street now.
Oh, yeah.
Canceled due to coronavirus.
Blade Show West. Canceled due to coronavirus.
So we got to hold out for
anyways.
California,
Gotta hold out for California.
Knicks, and Kentucky. We're gonna at least me and Jeremiah, since we are on the East Coast, we're probably gonna decide 2 days before if we want to rent the car and drive out there. That's pretty much what's gonna come out to. He's gonna call me or I'm gonna call him, and the show's in like 2 days. I'm like, I have a couple knives. You want to take the ride?
It's an interesting situation. Beyond Blade Show, hopefully things are cleared up for what's the next one?
That would be
California?
Cali. Yeah.
When's California?
It's like October, I think, or November.
Oh man, I want to say that's far away, but these days time is like a
Yeah, it's already July.
yeah.
It's like a prism ladder. Yeah, it's like just shooting you off into the distance.
The higher I climb, the lower I seem to get.
Well, that's how the sausage curls sometimes.
Right. Every time you open one beer, the other beer is already gone, and therefore you have to open another one because the other one you opened is already gone, so you just open another one.
Yeah, because those cans will rattle in the fridge.
The thing is, when you open a bottle and you screw the top back on, are you keeping the carbonation in, or are you just secretly letting the carbonation out? That wraps up another truly inspiring episode of the greatest
God damn it,
podcast
Elijah.
in history.
And with that note, Nick Trooper of NCC Knives signing out.
This is the person whose vocal representation of Jeremiah Burbank is signing out.
Do you remember movie theaters?
Dude, Quadrophenia is an amazing album, and everybody can go suck it.
I don't like the Who that much. Mainly because of Roger Daltrey's a dick weed, but yeah,
Quadrophenia is great.
Yeah, it's pretty good shit.
All right.
Also, wait, don't start it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fuck. This got dark quick, huh?